Someone will ruin your day today. You already know who it is. 2,000 years ago in Rome, a philosopher named Seneca had a problem. He was surrounded by some of the most difficult people imaginable. Corrupt politicians, power-hungry emperors, backstabbing colleagues, people who would smile to your face and plot your destruction behind your back. He couldn't avoid them. His job as an advisor to Emperor Nero meant dealing with impossible people was part of his daily reality. So he figured out how to do it without losing his mind. And what he discovered works better than anything modern psychology has come up with. Back in ancient Rome, reputation was everything. One insult could destroy you. One enemy in the wrong place could end your career or your life. The stakes were high. So everyone played politics. Everyone strategized. Everyone tried to manage relationships like chess matches. Stay on the good side of powerful people. Neutralize threats. Build alliances. Defend your honor at all costs. It was exhausting. People spent more energy managing difficult personalities than actually living their lives. Seneca watched this and realized something most people never see. The difficult person isn't the problem. Your reaction to them is the problem. Today you don't have emperors and senators. You have co-workers who undermine you. Family members who criticize everything you do. Friends who drain your energy. That person who always has to be right. That person who makes everything about them. That person who takes credit for your work, and you spend hours thinking about them. Replaying conversations, planning what you should have said, getting angry all over again. So what did Seneca figure out that we keep missing? Seneca had this student who came to him furious. Someone had insulted him publicly, called him a fool in front of important people. The student wanted advice on how to respond, how to defend his honor, how to put this person in their place. He expected Seneca to help him craft the perfect comeback or plan the perfect revenge. Seneca said something that confused him. Why are you letting this person control you? The student didn't understand. He's not controlling me. He insulted me. I need to respond. Seneca smiled. You've been thinking about this for hours. You can't focus on anything else. You're planning your response instead of living your life. He's not even here right now, and he's still controlling you. That's power you gave him. Stop giving it away. This is what Seneca understood. Difficult people only have the power you give them. When someone insults you and you get angry, you've handed them control over your emotional state. When someone criticizes you and you spend the next 3 hours defending yourself in your head, they're living rent-free in your mind. When someone treats you badly and you obsess over it, you're letting them ruin multiple hours of your life with one interaction. They said something or did something for 5 minutes. You're still upset 3 days later. Who's actually in control here? Seneca wrote about this constantly because he dealt with it constantly. In his letters and essays, he keeps coming back to the same point. Most people suffer more from their opinions about events than from the events themselves. Someone insults you, that's the event. It lasted 10 seconds. But then you replay it 50 times. You imagine scenarios. You get angrier with each replay. You've turned 10 seconds into 10 hours of suffering. Not because of what they did. Because of what you're doing to yourself. He gives this example. Imagine you're walking down the street and someone accidentally bumps into you. You might be annoyed for a second, but you move on. Now imagine someone deliberately shoves you. You get angry. You might confront them. You might think about it for the rest of the day. Same physical action, completely different reaction. Why? Because you've added meaning to it. You've made it personal. You've turned a physical event into an emotional crisis. Most difficult people are just bumping into you. You're the one deciding it's a deliberate shove. Watch what Seneca does here. He's not saying, pretend it didn't happen. He's not saying, let people walk all over you. He's saying, stop adding your own suffering on top of what actually happened. Deal with the situation, then move on. Don't carry it around like a backpack full of rocks. Someone criticizes your work unfairly. That happened, it's real. You can address it if needed. But you don't need to replay the conversation 40 times. You don't need to imagine all the things you should have said. You do need to build an entire case in your head about why they wrong and you rewrite. That's optional suffering. And you're choosing it. Seneca had another insight. Most difficult people are dealing with their own problems. That coworker who's always negative, probably miserable in their own life. That family member who criticizes everything, probably disappointed in themselves. That person who needs constant validation, probably deeply insecure. Their behavior isn't about you. It's about them working out their own issues in front of you. You're just the screen they're projecting onto. Once you see this, everything changes. Someone insults you, and instead of getting defensive, you realize they're telling you about their own pain. Someone tries to make you feel small, and you understand they feel small themselves. Someone lashes out, and you recognize it as fear, not malice. You stop taking their behavior personally because you see it's not personal. It's just their struggle leaking out. Does this mean you accept bad behavior? No. Seneca was clear about this too. You set boundaries. You remove yourself from toxic situations when possible. You don't volunteer for abuse. But you do it calmly, without the emotional drama. You protect yourself without becoming bitter. You handle the difficult person like you'd handle bad weather. You acknowledge it's raining, you grab an umbrella or go inside, but you don't take the rain personally. Here's how this works in practice. Your boss criticizes you unfairly in a meeting. Old response: get defensive, feel attacked, spend the next week angry and resentful. Seneca's response: acknowledge what was said, address it, if appropriate, then let it go. Your boss has their reasons for acting that way. Maybe they're under pressure. Maybe they're insecure. Maybe they're just having a bad day. None of that is about you. You don't need to carry their stress around. Or your friend constantly makes everything about themselves. They never ask how you're doing. They dominate every conversation with their problems. Old response: get frustrated, feel used, but keep engaging because you don't want to be mean. Seneca's response: recognize the pattern, decide if this relationship serves you, adjust accordingly. Either accept them as they are and lower your expectations, or reduce contact. But don't sit there resenting them while pretending everything's fine. This is what people miss. You have more control than you think. You can't control how others behave. But you can control how much space they take up in your head. You can control whether you engage with their drama. You can control whether you let their bad day become your bad week. Seneca would say most of your problems with difficult people aren't really about them. They're about you refusing to accept reality. You keep expecting people to be different than they are. You keep thinking they'll change. You keep hoping they'll see reason. And when they don't, you suffer. Not because of who they are, but because of who you wanted them to be. That relative who always criticizes you, they've been doing this for 20 years. They're not going to suddenly become supportive. Stop hoping they will. Accept who they are. Then decide how to handle it based on reality, not fantasy. Maybe you limit contact. Maybe you stop sharing things they'll criticize. Maybe you just stop caring what they think. But you stop suffering over the gap between who they are and who you wish they were. This doesn't mean become cold or cynical. Seneca wasn't teaching emotional detachment. He was teaching emotional intelligence. Feel what you feel. But don't let those feelings run your life. Someone hurts you. Acknowledge it. Process it, then release it. Don't build a monument to it. Don't let it define your day, or your week, or your year. Right now, think about that person who's been bothering you. That difficult person you can't stop thinking about. Notice how much energy you're spending on them. Notice how they live in your head even when they're nowhere near you. That's your choice, not theirs, yours. You can choose differently. You can acknowledge that they're difficult and stop expecting them to be easy. You can set boundaries without getting emotional about it. You can protect your peace without needing them to change. You can let them be who they are while refusing to let who they are control who you are. Seneca dealt with Nero, an actual murderous tyrant. If he could maintain his inner peace in that situation, you can handle your annoying coworker. The question isn't whether difficult people exist. They always will. The question is whether you're going to let them rent space in your head for free. Difficult people are like bad weather. You don't control if it rains, but you control whether you stand in it getting soaked while complaining about the rain, or whether you find shelter and get on with your day. Stop standing in the rain. Drop a comment if you needed this.